welcome to Impact Africa, our online talk show where we get to have conversations with diverse people and organizations who are impacting life positively. And as well celebrate positive news across Africa and beyond. My name is Dr. Kemi Adebayo, known as Dr. Mama K, and in today's program to share the amazing story. This amazing two ladies, I haven't stopped laughing since we started, and is the visionary Idri Williams, and she's the managing director for Khayelitsha Cookies, and as well Ms Renee Sousa. She is the sales manager. She is the compassionate, gentle. I just fell in love with her when I met her the first day. And they are based in Cape Town. Khayelitsha Cookies is a social enterprise, but we're going to learn more about our ladies and the organization itself. So, Idri and Renee, welcome to Impact Africa. How are you guys today?
Fun things in you. Love being here.
Love having you here.
In fact, you don't want to know what we've been saying before we started. It's been unusually awesome. I feel I've known them all my life already. So let's start with you, Idri. Tell us a little bit about yourself and life growing up.
Okay, so basically I used to be a youngster that was very goal driven. I used to do long distance running, so I've still got a few records that stand. You won't say it now. But that taught me how to push through, persevere. And as a youngster, I used to be an entrepreneur. So I used to buy chocolates and chips, and I used to have sales reps in each class, and I hired a locker from school, and I used to sell through all the different classes. And that's how I bought my first car when I was in matric.
Wow.
So in matric, I bought my first car. And for me, that was basically the ground roots of loving entrepreneurship. To realize that you can make money if you just put your mind to it. It's not necessarily other people that need to make the money. You can make money too. And I'll never forget Arthur Gillis. I met him later on in my life. And he used to say that, you know what, people need to see money like it's in a bank environment, but what's the key you bringing to unlock that wealth? And I think that's something that's missing in today's society. The youth don't realize that you don't necessarily have to go and work for a boss. You can create your own wealth by thinking outside the box, by doing something that no one else has done yet, or seeing something that works and actually just doing it better.
Right. Really?
Yes, and I
buy a boat in matric as well. Because I can't believe this lady bought a car in matric.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was an old skedonkie, but it was a car.
It doesn't matter.
it had wheels.
You know,
It had wheels.
Yeah, for you to have saved and just know the value of what money is.
Yes.
Tell us about life growing up for you.
And I was different. I come from the older generation.
Okay.
So unfortunately, but fortunately, I worked for a boss. So we just had this thing, we had to go out there and get a job. We didn't have the entrepreneurship built in us. So we went and we approached a business for a job, or a shop. In my day, it was shopping centers, and you went. So my first job was at music store selling music. Back in the day when you had to go buy, tapes.
CDs.
No, we didn't have
before
CDs. We had vinyl and tapes.
Yes,
But thank you for thinking I'm so young.
You are very young. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So life growing up, for you becoming, going into entrepreneurship at a very, very young age, and for you as well, your first job in the music school. Being a South African, what are you mostly proud of? Let me ask you that first.
I would say resilience. And the reason why I'm saying it is, it's this little saying, a boer maak 'n plan. And that's what I grew up with. My parents used to teach us that there is problems, you can identify a problem, but you need to give me a solution as well. And growing up with that mindset, I think that's what makes South Africans resilient, because we find solutions to the world's problems. And I think for me, what I'm so passionate about with that is to bring the people that's got the solutions in contact with those who's got the money and the funding to actually make it work. And I mean, Eunice, my fellow director, we've got this one saying, and it's like, all of us have blood inside of us. All of our blood is red. And you can decide if you want to use racial differences as a baton to try and determine which the better race is, or if you want to learn from each other, take the good that you like and introduce it into your culture as well. And one specific example is she always uses old age homes as an example, and she's like, when she's very, very upset with me, she speaks Afrikaans and she goes, Harkie.
That's the best way. English won't work.
Exactly, and she's also speaking, so when she speaks to me in Afrikaans, I know, run. And she says to me, how can you put your parents and elderly people in an old age home? In our culture, that's a disgrace. And you know what? I started realizing there's this beauty that's actually trapped in each one of us. And unless you listen to someone else to see and hear why they say that it is not right and adapt it into your own life, that's how you can grow. And I think for us, having 9 different languages in South Africa to learn from each other's cultures, where else in the world are you going to get that? You're not going to get that exposure. Exactly. So that's why I'm most probably a die-hard South African. And I believe in this country, and I believe in Ubuntu, and I believe in community, and I also believe that if women put their mind to something and we join forces, oh boy, the world will shake. And that's the thing. And it is to find women that's prepared to actually take hands and go, let's find a solution to problems.
Wow. For you, Renee, you can speak Portuguese a little bit. And from your name already. Proudly South African, all the cultural influence. What are you proudly South African?
Very proudly South African. And I think Audrey's basically said it all. Also growing up, I didn't grow up in a home with racial differences in that. I grew up in a home, everyone was just human, fortunately for me. And I pity people that, didn't grow up like that.
Yeah.
And I think, women empowerment, that's what we stand for. And I love, what the whole business stands for. So, but like I said, Audrey said it all.
So now, let's go now to the business. When was Khayelitsha Cookies started and how and why? So can you share that journey with us?
Definitely, and apologies, but I always get emotional talking about this. So it started in 2005 by an American lady, Alicia Pollock, who did an MBA, and there was donations from Unilever towards, like a kitchen that they did, the Umfalini Center, and basically they donated raw ingredients, and she started teaching women how to hand bake and hand pack American style cookies. Then the sponsorships ran dry, and the women had to walk with the cookies in town and sell them, and that's where the brand Khayelitsha Cookies started. And I was a youngster working with Renee. Strange enough, we worked at the same corporate company prior to that. Yes, way back. Eunice and myself as well, way back. And it's in 2007 when our church started doing an outreach at the Brooklyn Chest Hospital. And we would go in every second weekend to help the nurses to take care of the newborns up to the 6-year-olds. So I always used to play with the toddlers because I firmly believed a baby can break.
Right.
And the one specific Saturday morning, the nurse handed me this newborn baby. And she said to me, Audrey, if you're not going to feed this little girl a milk, and you've seen when you come back every second week, some of the kids die. And I sat, and it's like God broke my heart over that little baby girl. It's the first ever baby that I held. Didn't know how to feed her. Nurses helped me to actually feed her. And you know what? That baby drank her 15 milliliters of milk. That baby is over 15 years old now. She fought the fight. And it's there where I realized, you know what? I can no longer work for a large corporate and be taken care of financially while we're living in a broken world. And it's through that Brooklyn Chest outreach where I realized that 1 in every 5 children in South Africa die before the age of 5 due to malnutrition. Stats are currently that 14 million South Africans go to bed hungry every single day. And that is where I handed in my resignation, heard about this company called Khayelitsha Cookies. When I started, gave up my large corporate job with all of its benefits, started in this little factory with 3 house ovens, and 4 staff members.
How many members?
4.
Okay.
And we grew it from there to 87. And our journey has not been an easy one. Definitely not. And I mean, what takes us 40 days to bake takes a machine 1 day. That's the real job creation that we do. And unfortunately, there's no form of government funding to assist for the job creation that we do. But we know that all the women we employ, most of them cannot read, write, or speak English. So they are unemployable by worldly standards. We take these ladies in, we teach them with picture training, also in their own home language, food safety, and we know behind each individual that's here, 5 to 7 dependents will have a meal on their table tonight who didn't have one. And then we also got engineers in, and they assisted us with a project to actually determine what the real social impact is. And we realized that our business's formulation is quite straightforward. For every 1,000 cookies baked and sold in a day, we sustain one job, means 5 to 7 people have a meal on their table tonight. And we bake at less than 1% profit margin. So 1 bad month in sales will set us back 7 to 8 months where we have to try and claw back again. So I don't think there's many people that's prepared to actually do what we do. And the business would have closed down in 2013 because we accumulated 2.5 million rand in debt. And then the business owners, Tim and Tom, they gave me a box of tissues and they said to me, sorry, the business is closed down. So I always joke to say they should have given 2, not 1. Because if a woman is passionate about something, she cries a lot. So I went back home and I prayed, and God gave me a verse in Leviticus 26 verse 10 as a promise over this business. And I came back the next morning, still can't remember what I said in that meeting to these previous owners. The one thing I do know is I said to them, I'll take over the debt. I will repay you over a 10-year time period. They were gracious enough to do it as interest-free. The business was worth 100,000 Rand in net asset value. And that's where Eunice and myself took over the business. Still till today, I take 100% financial risk for the business, but I've only got 37% shareholding in the business. And the reason why is I can't run this business without the likes of Renee and Eunice and the staff. So our staff also own a collective shareholding through a 30% trust fund. And you know what, for me, that is how you give back. And I mean, my biggest dream is still the year that we can actually start paying dividends out. And we were very good on track to actually get there, and then COVID hit. And we lost 65% of our business overnight, and we've still not recouped all of that business back. 65% of our business we lost overnight. So it was very tough time periods. But resilience is born out of obstacles that you face. I mean, poor Renee, poor Eunice, they sit with me very often in these sessions and they go, how are we going to keep the company trading? And we're going, you can't, because if we don't manage this business well, these women are not going to find jobs anywhere else.
And that's 5 to 7 dependents struggling as well. So they ripple effect.
Correct. So you're looking at nearly 700 people that's reliant on this business surviving. So so that's at the heart of the business, is to actually put food on the tables. The cookie is a vehicle to sell, to teach these women, and it's also something I'm passionate about, is to teach people that proverbial how to fish. Teach you a skill, then you can take care of you and your dependents. Where if you just do a donation, tomorrow you're going to be hungry again. So that is my heart and my passion, and what I'm truly, truly passionate about in South Africa.
I commend you. Before I go and you get me to start crying, as well, I'm already getting so emotional just hearing that story of the child in 2013, and then boom, again, 2020 happened. But like you said, God has promised you.
Yes.
So He won't leave you with people like
Exactly.
Renee. So let me come to Renee here now. Sales manager, and I know we can probably, hear about what you guys have achieved and so on. Where can we find the cookies?
Well, you can find them anywhere. We've got an online store. As Audrey mentioned,
you've got
after
an online
lockdown,
store now?
yes.
Okay.
So we had to think out the box because, like she said, we lost 65% of our business. Our main focus was hospitality, so your hotel, catering industry. Obviously, we lost all of that. So we opened our online store. And I mean, all the cookies you can buy them all in our online store.
And
so we do
varieties as well.
amazing variety. So
Okay.
we're always coming up with new flavors. Thanks to Audrey for her ideas in the middle of the night. Our production team won't agree with that.
I'm under the shower. When you have
She comes up with these lovely ideas like putting vegetables in cookies. So we have a lot of healthy cookies as well that we do.
Yeah.
We supply a bit into retail. I mean, we do teething biscuits as well.
Yes.
So,
really?
Yes. Toddler cookies. Yeah.
Okay. So now I know I've been told we need to stop for a break, which we're going to really do now. How have you both and your team, with units and everyone, managed, to keep going, with all these challenges and knowing 87 ladies and their depend on you? How have you managed?
I must say, for me, Renee is one of my biggest supporters on that side. So very often when it gets so much for me, where I feel the world is on my shoulders and I just don't know what to do anymore, it's normally Renee that will arrive. She'll come and visit me at home and she goes like, okay, Audrey. And she's just there. And I must say, her mom as well passed away 3 years ago now. The mom always used the words, hello dear, how are you really doing? And you know what, in today's life and age, it sounds like a simple phrase. But coming from a person that deeply cares and allowing you the platform to feel the emotions, to get it out and to realize, you know what, I can't give up. So yes, I'm feeling this burden, but I can't give up. That is the most precious gift we as women can actually give other women in the form of support and to help us carry through those difficult time periods and to be there for one another. And I must say, I mean, that's definitely Renee, that's Eunice for me in my life. And if I didn't have the support team that I have, my own mom, my own dad, Renee and Eunice, and my hubby, I don't think I would have made it. Because in a position like this, you need people around you that care about not only their jobs, but they care about you as a person. So I know it sounds terrible, but sometimes we also need a bit of TLC in these positions.
You're going to get into trouble. Okay, I won't even let Renee say anything. We'll be right back. Wow, what a journey. And the fact you were talking about resilience, starting, being an entrepreneur from a young age, buying a car at the age of, matric, even though, like you say, it was it doesn't matter. But I'm not surprised to see where God has placed you and He keeps calling you into. And the network, the circle of support that you have.
Yeah.
I've cried my own buckets here now, but it's all going to be tears of joy, I believe, and this is a calling, I believe, upon your life, and which depends on the people who God as well has placed, around you to help you walk that journey together, because it is more than cookies.
Yes.
From what I'm seeing and hearing here now, it is definitely more than cookies.
Yes.
So during the break, we were talking about the special ingredient that they thought somewhere. You need to share that story. I need to hear it because I didn't hear the end of it. So I want to hear the story. Come on, tell me.
I'll tell the story. So like Renee said, sometimes I arrive at work with these weird and wonderful ideas. Secret is I can't bake to save my life.
Oh really?
Can't.
She can't.
I really can't.
I'm sure you're not my sister.
And the only reason for that is I can't follow a recipe. So I'm the one who comes up with all these weird and wonderful recipes. So at a stage we introduced vegetables and fruits that we pulp into our products, and we started growing spinach here in gutters next to the wall, and we've got a star veggie box at the back where we grow vegetables for the staff. So in the heart of COVID, every Saturday and Sunday the alarm would go off and the armed response would phone us to say it's the back gate alarm that went off. So a few weeks it happens, and the one day I'm still busy baking with the ladies, and the next moment our security guard Tandeka comes and she calls me. She says, "Ma'am, the police are here to arrest you." So I said, "For what?" "No, there's ganja on the premises." I said, "There's no ways, it's spinach." So now here's me walking with the police, and I'm like very confident it's spinach and the things, only to look up and realize that the planter box, which next I park to every day, it's got these beautiful cannabis plants that's so high already, and it's stuff you don't notice because you walk there every day. So I must say, I promise you, Ma, everything just sank, and I looked at this police officer with this eyes, and I'm going like,
ignorance is not allowed in law.
no, yes, the stuff, and I'm going like, I'm so sorry, I didn't know that it was here. And he's like, how can you not know? You parked next to this. I promise you, it was a half an hour of negotiations later on, only to realize that a very good entrepreneur from Elsie's Rivier, very creative, saw the opportunity in our planter boxes, and that's him that jumped over the wall. And he's got green fingers, because the little holes and everything was watering into these huge cannabis things. So eventually I had to destroy it in front of the police, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. But I must say, we laughed so much about that cannabis story. So that's the one. I'm like, I can't believe it happened. But it happened.
No, that is, well, I hope nobody's going to come and do that.
No, please.
They're not encouraging you. Disclaimer, you will be caught by the police.
Exactly.
So now, success stories. I know you've shared the challenge. Challenges, a lot of challenges. Just a little bit of them that you said there. What are you mostly proud of in terms of achievements for you as Khayelitsha Cookies?
I would say the award that I'm the most proud of is I was in a car accident that left me off work for nearly 2 years. And Mums, my fellow director Eunice, came to me in hospital and she said to me, "Audrey, what must I do?" And I said to her, "You just keep our clients happy. A happy client equals return business." So it doesn't help you to have this beautiful entrepreneurial business and story and you can't deliver. You need to deliver better than any of your other competitors in the industry. And that's price, time, value, consistency and quality, and customer service delivery. So she made me a promise in that hospital room that she will make sure our customers is happy. That's the award that I'm the most proud of. Literally a year later, Khayelitsha Cookies won the best customer service delivery in the cookie industry in South Africa and in Africa. And we were up against all of our major competitors. And I'll never forget that night. They literally did the surgery early on that morning. The award was that night. So I had to get a hospital pass. The nurses blow dried my hair for me because he has this arms in slings. So the poor nurses, the makeup and the evening dress, had to get a pass to go to the vet and come back and book in again. So I think it was worth it. For me, that signifies Khayelitsha Cookies. And I think the second award that I'm the most proud of is last year we got selected as the Empower Her through Standard Bank company that does the most for the local community. And for me, what I'm proud of that is that shows you that they do, like checks on you, and that it's not just what we say we do, but it's verified that this is what we do. So we get involved in so many other outreaches as well. So I help coach netball, in my free time. We did in COVID, we did snook runs for the food kitchens in Cape Town, where we would go to the pier and stand there with a little notice to say, please donate to snook. And I mean, there was no toilets open, no coffee, no nothing. My poor dad and myself standing here, please donate to snook. And we would drive with the bakkie at night, and I mean, it looked like this horror movie scene where all the soup kitchens, all 93 of them, would get us here in front of a gate 10 minutes before curfew, and they would literally just throw fish. It's like 2 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you. Yeah, there we go, and it's this blood trail of fish guts, me and my dad shame. No, so I must say, we can tell stories of where we get our hands dirty. And for me, I've got a challenge for all people around the world, and whoever meets me, I give one specific challenge to him. And the challenge is, you know what, we're all surrounded every day with opportunities to do a good deed. It may be carrying someone else's groceries, it may be buying someone else's groceries, it might be cooking a meal for a single mom, or taking care of her kids that night, mowing the neighbor's lawn. There's so many things that you can use your time and your talent. You don't need to put money towards it to give back. And I firmly believe that that's how God actually designed us, because once you do that good deed, if you don't brag about it on social media and you just do it, you know what, you feel better as a person. That's the natural antidote to life stresses. And as soon as people start grasping that it's actually nice to do a good deed, I think that's where the world will change. So I often challenge people to say, do one good deed in 2 weeks after you've met me.
Okay.
Then you answer 2 questions. The first question is, how do you think it made that person feel? And the second question is, how did it make you feel? That's normally where the penny drops. And that's normally where people start realizing that, you know what, it feels good to do good. And people get propelled to do it more often. So I still believe in this world where every person will do one good deed a day. Imagine what a world we would live in. That would erode hunger. I still believe that there will be a South Africa where there is no more people going to bed with hungry tummies. I believe that together we can actually turn this country around. But it takes all of us to want to participate, and that's where it starts.
Thank you, Hannah, for that word, which are real, at the end of the day. Renee, let me ask you now, what are 3 things for you that you value most in life? I think I can imagine, but I want to...
Okay.
I can imagine that for you, what are the 3 things of people, or whatever it is, that you value most in life, and why?
Sure, that's a difficult question. My word, you should have given me time to think about it. I think a big thing for me is family and friendship. That's really a big thing. Having the right people in your life and at the right time. I believe that friendship has a season. Family's forever. Friendship has a season. But some friendship season lasts forever. Audrey and myself are a perfect example of that. Been through a lot together, so that's a big value of mine. And I think business and quality. When you speak about value, you mean qualities and things like that.
Anything you value. Family and friends is good.
That's
Let me go now to you being a leader in terms of being a sales manager. What are the leadership skills that you think one needs to have to be?
Oh, there's many, but I think compassion is a big one.
Right.
And
which you have.
Which I have. I know you say it the whole time.
I tell you.
But you've got to be firm.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like they say, you've got to be cruel to be kind. So, it's certain things have to be said at certain times. So that's a big thing as well.
And I think honesty. So I mean,
honesty is huge.
Huge.
And loyalty. I know they say loyalty. If you want loyalty, get a dog. I love dogs. Yeah. But besides that, it's a big one for me.
So what is your own definition of leadership? because, I can see you're hands-on,
Yes.
You're there with the ladies and you're there with the funders or supply, your customers, clients, and so
Yes.
on. What is your definition? What does leadership mean to you?
Leadership is you lead by example. You cannot expect your staff members to do what you cannot do. And also for me is, as a leader, when you realize that someone is better equipped to deal with a certain aspect of the business, is to allow them to shine and not try and sniff them to say, no, sorry, I'm the boss, I need to do it. And a perfect example there is, again, price negotiations, that's Renee's baby. I go with, and she sits and she stares at me like that when they start negotiating, knowing that I'm going to give in, and she's like, but each person in your team has got different values. They've got different, like gifts and talents that they need to bring to the table. So I think the most important thing of a leader is to develop the person on their side. And I've also got one not negotiable rule in this business, and that is, if you break someone else down and if you talk behind someone else's back and you break them down, this is not the company for you. Because here you need to be each other's support, you need to build each other up. So if you've got people not being united, and if it causes the unity to fall apart in a business, that is something that I would say to any other leader. Unity is the biggest success of your business. If you have discord within your management team members, that is the quickest that your business will fail. So you need to surround yourself with like-minded, yet completely opposite to you people that can challenge you on a daily basis. Because if you're not going to be challenged, then you're not going to grow.
I think we're going to stop for a quick break, a very quick one, and we'll be right back with my final question. So we'll be right back. Wow, what an honor it has been to just be here. I think we need 3 hours to talk and just have conversation and hear more of the stories of Khayelitsha Cookies. And I'm definitely wanting to come back. But before we go, I've got 2 more questions because I know time is running out, for us. For you, what are some of the life lessons that over the years, from that age of being in school, that has helped you to be where you are, that you will advise a younger you? Can you share with us?
Yes, definitely. I think perseverance. Life, nowhere is there promises that life is going to be easy. And a big problem is that we end up giving up when we face our first adversity. So whenever the first struggle is there, we've got a tendency to believe, okay, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, and we turn away from what we were supposed to do. So for me, it's perseverance. It is to not give up on your dreams. And a big thing is never stop dreaming. Because I think we are so focused on just surviving at this moment in time that we've given up on our dreams. We've given up on imagining things that we would still like to achieve in this life. And for me, I've got this little vision board, if I can put it that way. And I go back every year, December, going New Year's Eve, I disappear for a few seconds. And I'll go sit in front of that vision board and I see, you know what, how did I do compared to my vision board this year? Did I reach what I should have? And it's there where you then do your planning for the next year. Second thing is follow your passion and money will follow. Very often kids get involved in a career that they actually don't like, but they follow it and they study for it because that's where the money is. However, if you do something day in and day out that you don't like, you're never ever going to have a proper life that you live, a fruitful life. So you need to be able to put your head down every night and go, I love today. So my dad's got this little saying, it's like that little energizer bunnies. He's still looking for my off switch. I was born with one. And mine is by far the longest battery he's ever seen lasted. Because I just don't give up and I keep on taking on new things. But you know what? You also need to do something that fills your life tank again, that gives you pleasure. And for me, my daily stress release is actually to be on the netball fields coaching young girls. Find that thing that relaxes you. So for Renee, it's walking her dogs. Each one of us, for some men, it's fishing. Each one of us has got that one thing that gives you your breather again. Do it. Even though sometimes you go like, must I do it? But after you've done it, then you realize, you know what, I should have.
Oh, one last one. And I promise we're finished, but we will be coming back because I'm just worried that me and you can talk. So obviously through what you're doing with Khayelitsha Cookies, you're helping to address, poverty, up to create jobs, even addressing crime in a way, even though you don't know, because the women that are here, the 5 and 7 dependent that they have, they're probably able to keep them indoors away from crime.
Correct.
So you do have that influence without even realizing it. And I know you mentioned about the challenge, that you give people in terms of good deeds. What other social issues, do you think needs to be addressed? Or that you're passionate about, and even though you're not the one addressing it, and what can be done to address it?
I think the biggest social issue for me is when it comes to our youth in high schools. Even though there is entrepreneurship courses, the kids, if you go to America, to EU, to USA, all of the kids are actually forced to do an unpaid internship where they need to give time in the workplace. We implemented it where we do paid internships for some of the staff who work here and their kids are over the age of 17 in a school holiday. And what we've seen is those kids ended up going into tertiary educations, studied because they got given an opportunity to be in the workplace, to see what it's going to be like. So I firmly believe it's not just this focus on education. It needs to be a focus on kids need to get real, live, hands-on experience. And then from there decide. I wish that it's something that I could do is to have a room full of genius funders and have high school students pitch their ideas to these funders like a Shark Tank, but it's an older business person that's successful who is willing to take on an entrepreneur after school and take him under his wing and gradually give shareholding back in the company back to the youth. Because I also firmly believe, you can't just live on this handout things. Youth needs to work. People need to realize you need to put in to get out. So that is one thing I would desperately want to change. A second thing is I fight quite profusely with government on a regular basis. We'll put it this way, my husband arrives with me and he leaves the room early because he's scared for his life after I've been to one of those meetings. But for me, it is equality that I fight for. You know, and I firmly believe that we should do away with all forms of classification at this moment in time. So I know, you know, we're living in South Africa where there was this apartheid era, and I mean, we reunited as, like South Africans. Yeah. But what you're finding, and I mean, I unfortunately deal with it again from the youth side, where you find that there is no room specifically for the white youth in South Africa. And there is so much talent. So Eunice and myself are united with that, where we go, it's not about this, it's about this. It's about you applying your mind. It's about sharing the same passion, the same love, standing united to actually fight for a cause and to make a difference in this country. So I'm one of those that I fight a lot about it. So I don't think you must put me and Julius in one room together.
Maybe that's the plan.
Would love that. But yeah, so for me it's just people who fight for freedom, and freedom in a sense of unity, an all-inclusive unity. That's my passion, is that people would really realize that you as a person matters. You as a person can unite and actually change this world. So that's what I'm passionate about.
How do you add to that?
How do we add to it? I can't even say anything anymore. And I think before I lose my own kind of line of thought on a more serious note, the youth one that you mentioned, I will want to work with you on that, because it's something that's been on the back burner of one of my, when you have ideas,
yes.
And you write everything about pictures, and because we work in schools.
Exactly.
And I presented it to certain people, and they're keen, but it's always fallen behind.
Exactly.
So I love the fact that you are already doing that with your ladies, with their children, in terms of internship, or getting young people to come up with ideas and projects that can be supported, like in fact, because I watch all of them. Yes. And it's been something we tried a little bit, but we didn't, So I think sometimes it's not about me, for me as well. But when I heard it, I'm like, Holy Spirit, okay, I hear you. Loud and clear.
Yes, it's something we need to do. Because the thing is, when you look at in South Africa, our new entrepreneur rate is -2%, where it's supposed to be 10% to bring about a healthy economy. So imagine if we can support these youth, that they're the ones who create jobs.
And start from
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. Like she did.
Exactly.
And you'll be able to speak to explain to them that if I could do it, you bought a car because for you the car was the need.
Exactly.
But you could buy a house, you could buy, put money towards a trust, you could do this.
Exactly.
So please, we need to talk about
that. Oh, definitely.
I'm on that one.
That's awesome.
Because not just about us, get more like-minded people to say, how can we start with 5 schools or 3 schools?
Exactly.
We already have schools like that.
Awesome.
In the township, in Delft, in Khayelitsha, we already work with schools like that. So how can we do that? If it's once a year program or something like that, then start late and finish late.
Exactly.
For people like me.
Awesome.
And then we just find people to mentor them. That's what you said. So
exactly.
It's on camera.
Awesome. I'm excited about
Very
that.
exciting.
I salute you, my dear sister. From today, you're my sister. not just a friend, because she was my friend when I met her. Now you're my sister and my sister, and you know, I salute you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
I commend you, I appreciate you, I honor you. Sometimes, like what you said today at the beginning, and I can relate, but this is not about me. But when I hear stories from people like you as well, it validates a lot of things that you need to keeping on. When people really say, how are you? And where were we this morning? Somebody asked me that question and I said, no, don't ask me that question. Just this morning, I said, are you sure you really want to know how I am?
Exactly, there we go.
And then I'm like, you know, but we need to talk about it. We need to surround ourselves with a circle of the right people, family, friends, church members, staff as well.
Exactly.
You know, so thank you.
Huge pleasure. Thank you for you as well.
Thank
My
you.
newfound sister.
Yes. So,
And we're going to achieve great things with that school project.
no, I'm serious.
There we go.
And there's another
Same
one.
with me.
Don't worry.
Good.
We're coming out that tour.
Awesome.
It's on camera. It's on camera.
It's proof.
Maybe we'll keep us
Oh, yes.
we're talking about it. Because what
Speaking
you
it
said
into
there,
life.
the vision board.
Exactly.
The vision board.
Exactly.
Writing what you, how are you doing? Have I done this? What more
Exactly.
can I do? Everybody needs to start looking into, you know, that.
Exactly.
Every one of us at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
And we wish you well. All the best with Khayelitsha Cookies, with the ladies that you are impacting their lives positively.
Thank you.
Even though, yes, they probably say thank you, we're saying thank you on your behalf as well. And I'm hoping, I'm praying that the next step, I was going to ask about work plans and so on, but I know God has already got the next step.
Exactly.
And
Amen.
He's going to take you to, I'm not a pastor, but
Amen.
it happens.
Exactly.
So don't be in a hurry, just keep being you. The heart that you have.
Needed to hear that today.
Online,
Thank you.
in America, in Europe, we want to take Khayelitsha Cookies one bite at a time.
That's it.
Exactly.
Beyond South Africa.
Exactly.
To other African countries.
Yes.
And whereby these ladies, because we will want to come and ask them as well as beneficiaries. How has this made a difference in
Yes.
the world? So can we come back at a later date?
Of course. Any given time.
Yes.
Two or three of them to say,
Yes.
you know, their journey, Eunice, like you said.
Exactly.
Their journey. What is their journey?
Nolo, Violet. I mean, there's so many. Our newest staff member, we've got a deaf lady that we employed. I mean, how changed
So
her
you're
life.
even working in terms of
Yeah.
disability.
Yeah.
Just not just women. So I see you. Let me tell you that. No, because it's, you know, in fact, I'm like, when you wait, okay, I'm like, okay. But anyway, let me know that. But I see you, and I see your heart. And God that has given you that vision will not fail you, but look after yourself. I'm sure, like you said, the car accident was probably God's way of keeping you still.
Yes.
And, you know, look after yourself, do what takes the stress out, the coaching, you know, and everything else, because it's not easy.
Yes,
It's not easy.
exactly.
And I won't even claim I know it.
Thank
So in closing, I'll start with Renee. Just please look in the camera, just give words of encouragement to anyone that you want to speak to. If you just look in
Okay,
the camera.
so my advice, especially to young entrepreneurs, is follow your passion, follow your heart, and you're never too young to do a business plan. So start with that, and good luck with that. You'll do it.
Thank you. And you?
For me, the message that I have for the world is there's only one of you. There's only one that's got the gifts and the talents that you've got. Make it count. Because the world cannot handle another one of you, but they can also not go without you adding to society.
Wow. Make it count. Follow your passion.
Yes.
Follow your dreams. There's been so much in there. I can't even try and recap. You know, perseverance, you mentioned it so many times. Do not give up on your dreams.
Yeah.
So much, so much. So guys, you need to play back, watch, replay, and replay. And please, we will be sharing the social media handles at the end. Please support in any form of way. Subscribe to their Facebook page, website, Twitter, Instagram. Okay, it's no longer called Twitter. Excel.
Flickr.
Yeah, I don't know.
They will know.
We'll get our plot.
We need a young person. Whatever it's called, we apologize for it. But yeah, all the social media out there, please spread the news. You never know whose life as well you can help touch. Just by helping to spread the news.
Amen.
And we wish you all the very best. Till next time, this is me, Dr. Mama Kese. Remember, God is love. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye, Danki.
Nkosi kakhulu.
Nkosi kakhulu.
Obrigado.
Obrigado.